Yo. Welcome into the ChrisBeCappinn Show, man. Today is, you know what? I messed up again. Let's do this. Let's try this over. Welcome into the ChrisBeCappinn Show. Today is April the 24th. We have 3 more games in the NBA playoffs today. And hopefully we can kind of keep it going. Yesterday, just jumping into a quick recap, only one official play, which was the Houston and the Golden State game to go under. That ended up being a winner. Golden State didn't play as much defense as I thought they would, but I knew one of the offenses would struggle. And ended up being Golden State's offense. Jimmy Butler, of course, left the game with that pelvic contusion and never returned. Golden State's defense never really returned either, and the Rockets were able to score the basketball. But the game did stay under the total, with Golden State not getting to 100 points. So I know I talked about other couple things that I liked. Didn't end up pulling the trigger. Davion Mitchell did go up and over his points prop. The Heat plus the 12 would have been a winner as well. I think Corey Joseph did go over, so I would have lost that one. And I think it was one more that I would have lost that I can't quite remember right now. But neither here nor there. Only one official play yesterday, and it was a winner. So hopefully we can kind of keep things going today. Hopefully we can keep them going today. So let's go through a couple comments and jump into the 3 games that we have on the board for today. I will tell you guys that the longer the series goes in some of these, the sharper these total gets, the sharper the size get, which is why it's important to make some pre-series bets, which kind of align with the way that you see the series. And I've done that to kind of put myself in some really great positions for a couple of these series. We'll see how the games go today, but I won't have as many official plays, and the plays that I do end up rocking with will probably end up being more player props because I don't really like linking a lot of plays the day of the game. So that's just my thought process. Good morning, Adam. He says huge night. Let's keep the momentum going. I love it. Says Jalen Green revenge. He did get some revenge last night. Jalen Green absolutely hooped last night. He said it was some jitters in game 1. He looked good last night. I'll still probably fade him next game, but I know you were on Jalen Green, and gotta let our lovers talk his talk real quick, man. Nothing wrong with that. Good morning, Prolific says cashed on a little 2-legger while under 5 assists and Carter under 8 rebounds. Both got saved by the hook. Sometimes that's all you need is a little hook, man. Sometimes that's all you need is a little hook. Top of the morning to my guy Justin. What up, LJ? He says, what up, Chris? Denver plus 5.5 tonight. Joker 30-point trip dub tonight. Let's cash it. Okay, we'll talk about that game in just a second. Prolific says, and as per jaXon, 2 duds yesterday. That's why you got to check jaXon. Matter of fact, we'll talk about jaXon in a second. Darius Garland, I think, did go over his rebounds and assists. The number was set at 9.5. jaXon likes the under, and jaXon also liked the Cavs in the Heat, which I thought the Cavs in the Heat was a good under bet as well. I know a couple people that were on Cav Heat under yesterday. I thought it was a good bet. For whatever reason, Miami can't play any defense. Their defense is absolutely just come up short. The Cleveland Cavaliers offensive rating has been absolutely good. So jaXon did give out, I want to say it was 2 losers. Let me just check Garland numbers real quick. Garland talking spicy post game, saying that you just keep attacking Tyler Hero. Let's see. Yeah, jaXon was 0-2 dud yesterday. He had 9 assists and 2 rebounds yesterday for Darius Garland. But as jaXon probably anticipated, I would expect Miami to play a little bit better defensively too. You can't give up 121 points when you got equal rest. That's just my thought process. Good morning, Brian. Says a good handicap yesterday. Let's keep it going. Good morning, Prestigious Prodigy. What up, DJ Props? Is rocking money line and scary injury for Jimmy. That did look like it hurt, man. As somebody who's popped their sacrum out of place, I think 3 times in the last 5 or 6 years, like it's no joke with those lower back injuries. And I haven't even sustained a real one, just a sacrum being popped out of place. And I got my chiropractor to pop it back in the following 2 times right after I knew what was going on. The first time I didn't know what was going on, and I was just kind of suffering through the pain, trying to figure it out, thinking that it was just gonna go away. Good morning to Reek. What up, Marquise? Drew says Rocket Series winner, have value. I think we gotta wait, Drew. I think we gotta wait to see what happens with Jimmy Butler. But with no Jimmy Butler, I can't take the Warriors, man. They're gonna have to dig deep in their bag. Deep in their bag. Justin says Jalen Green watched the show yesterday. What up, Big Zan? Says I like this shirt, my boy. It's an old Lakers shirt that I had in the closet. Hadn't pulled it out in a while. Vaughn said was hesitant on the zigzag theory for Houston in the playoffs versus Golden State. Mad I missed out on that money. I was kind of thinking the same. What up, Reem? Says W was almost here. Absolutely is. Super excited for the W. I actually started looking into some W stuff yesterday. WNBA for people who don't know what Reem is talking about. Good morning, Mark. What up, Fear Elite? I love it. Says Detroit basketball. Let's get into the games for today. So we'll start as we always do with jaXon, your AI sports betting tool. There is a link in the description if you're interested in checking jaXon out. Yeah, you can save yourself 50%, whatever tier it is that you're looking for. So right back to it. We're going to unders again today. The prompt for jaXon was, what are the two best under bets in the NBA? One player prop and one total, please. jaXon likes, let's see. Hold on. You know what? That's the prompt for yesterday. Let's see. No. That's the same prompt for today. All right. So jaXon likes Nicholas Batum under 6.5 points plus rebounds at -105 on ESPN Bet. Nick Batum under says he's under the line in 52.5% of his games this season, averaging 6.9 rebounds and assists, points and assists. I'm sorry. Recent performance over his last 10 games, he's averaged 8.6 combined points plus rebounds, but this includes some outlier performances. His hit rate for the under in that span is 40%, showing inconsistency. Opponent defense, the Denver Nuggets ranked 15th in defense against Batum's positions, indicating a neutral matchup. However, Batum's role in the Clippers offense has been limited, and his usage rate remains low. Home performance at home this season, Batum has averaged 6.78 combined points plus rebounds, further supporting the under. jaXon likes Nicholas Batum under his rebounds plus points at 6.5, -105. That's a pretty low number. I would have to go in and look at the minutes for Batum, because at 6.5, I kind of need you out the rotation a little bit. Like I need your minutes to be a little low. So I would look into that. As far as total bet for today, jaXon likes the under between the Oklahoma City Thunder and the Memphis Grizzlies. 227.5 is what jaXon likes. -115 on BetMGM. Says that the Thunder and the Grizzlies have been involved in low scoring games recently. Both teams rank bottom half of the league in pace, which I'm not sure about that, which limits overall possessions. Defensive matchup. Memphis has been strong defensively, ranking 6th in defensive efficiency. Oklahoma City has improved defensively, ranking 11th in opponent points per game. Game 1 context, in their last meeting, the total points was under 227.5, and both teams struggled to find consistent offensive rhythm. Betting line, the line is 227.5. It's slightly inflated given the defensive capabilities of both teams and their slower pace of play. So jaXon likes under 227.5 for the game. I'm not quite sure what to do with this total, but we shall get into it. And no further ado, man, already talking too much. Let's jump into it. So first game we have on the board for today, at least going in rotational order. This is not the first game that'll start, but this is 5:45, 5:46, and that is the Oklahoma City Thunder and the Memphis Grizzlies. So a couple things here. First thing that stands out to me here is that hopefully most of the people that are watching this video now also watched the video that I did on Sunday night before this series started. And I talked about, liking the Memphis Grizzlies to get swept in this series. I really like the Thunder, and I'm not going to keep beating that same drum and talking about why, but, we go back to it, right? It's the same two things that we talk about. It's the fast break points that the Memphis Grizzlies have to score in order to be competitive in their games. And it's also, their ability to be able to get downhill, and they're a team that loves to attack the rim. The problem with that is that OKC doesn't allow either, and I'll talk about those numbers. So I do think that the Grizzlies get swept in the series. I got a really good future bet at +160 to take OKC in this spot, at the beginning of the series, and I uploaded that video on Sunday, which means that I don't really have to play this one, which really means that I can play OKC. I got OKC money line here, then I got OKC money line in game 4. And that's why I put myself in that position, because I kind of felt like the spread would be that way. Regardless of that, right? Y'all not here for that because y'all like, Chris, I ain't see that video. What you got for today? So I'm looking at the total. It's 227. I'm looking at the spread. Yesterday, this was 8.5. I see it up to, looks like 8.5 is consensus. It looks like 8.5 is still available, but 9.5 is actually consensus now. So a couple things here. We've been cashing with the Grizzlies team total under. The Thunder, just take away what the Grizzlies like to do. And I think you could go back to that today. I think 109.5 was available last night when I was on DraftKings. It's not something that I absolutely love. I'll tell you this about the Thunder, though. They, for whatever reason, they don't seem to take their foot off the gas. And I don't think that they're going to, even though they're on the road and they've absolutely throttled this Grizzlies team in the first 2 games. Remember, game 1, they won by 50 or 51. Game 2, they won by 19, I think it was, close to 20. The pace did slow down. Game 1 was played at 106 possessions per team. And then game 2 was played at 99 possessions per team. Memphis had 5 fast break points in game number 1. They had 3 fast break points in game number 2. Memphis allowed 27 fast break points in game 1, and they gave up 21 fast break points in game 2. I mean, this is not a good defensive team. So I'm like, man, do I really want to risk it again? Because I know the Thunder can come in here and absolutely steamroll this Grizzlies team. Maybe the Grizzlies, if they were going to ever show some pride, I think it's after you get beat by 50, whether you're at home or not. These teams have played now 6 times. OKC is 6-0 straight up and against the spread this season. The totals are 5-1 to the under. The Grizzlies have stayed under their team total in 5 of the 6 matchups. Memphis is averaging 100 points per game. They've been held under 107 in 5 of the 6 matchups, and back-to-back, they've been held under 100 points. So a couple of things I looked at as far as trends go, and then we'll actually move on to the next game. I'll go through the comments. So home dogs in game 3 that are getting 7.5 points or more, not typically a favorable spot. When the line is this big against you, like the Grizzlies, especially with them being at home, most of the time it's not favorable. They're 2-11 straight up, 4-9 against the spread. The totals are 6-3 and 4 to the over. Overall, with this line implication, so home dogs in game 3 in general, they only cover about 44% of the time. 60, 75, and 2 against the spread. Since 2018, I took the COVID season out. The dogs in this spot in game 3 are 13, 21, and 2 against the spread. They only cover it 38% of the time. OKC, if we look at them last season in the playoffs when they were on the road, 12 games, 8-4 straight up, 8-4 against the spread. I would argue that they're better than they were last year. They were also an under team on the road last season, 9-3 to the under, only gave up 97 points per game. OKC, after the All-Star break this season, on the road specifically, 14-1 straight up, 12-3 against the spread. They're winning by average of 12 points per game. And then one more thing, a road favorite of 9 points or more in game 3s are 7-1 against the spread going back to 2009. The average margin of victory is 19.5 points. Dogs coming off back-to-back losses of 15 points or more, because the Grizzlies did lose back-to-back games by 15, are 3-13 against the spread. So I kind of think OKC can steamroll Memphis here again. I'm not sure if I'll bet it just because I got the really good series price and I don't really want to dip my toes in too much, but I do think that OKC, I think that they get the Grizzlies out of here again. The Grizzlies have showed me nothing to make me want to take points with them, even though they are at the crib today. I don't see it, right? Like I'm not about to try to catch the falling knife. It'll be 8.5 for me or nothing, and I would lay it before I'm taking it. It'd be Thunder or nothing. Hopefully that makes sense. All right, let's see what you guys are thinking about this one. I know I said a lot. I actually didn't go through any player props either. I considered, what's the little short kid name with the all the muscles? Desmond Bane. I considered Desmond Bane to go under, but I didn't play Desmond Bane. I think the reason why Desmond Bane has struggled, if you go through and look at his game logs, and his points prop is down now, but if you go through and look at his game logs, he gets a lot of his points in transition. And if he's not scoring in transition, it can be difficult for him to score the basketball. I do think that Memphis eventually is going to shoot the ball from the three-point line a little bit better, but I don't want to bank on it. I do think that if you're going to beat the Thunder, you're going to have to be a team that knocks down some threes, and the Grizzlies are not a great three-point shooting team. So we'll see. We'll see what the pace does. I feel kind of indifferent about the game, but I would lay it before I'm taking the points. Let's see what you guys are thinking here. What up, Kurt? Appreciate you for tapping in. Steven says, hope Jimmy Butler gets better. Go Clips and go Thunder. You think Grizzlies can score 100 points tonight? I guess they could, but I wouldn't bank on the Grizzlies covering their team total. I would bet under. And right now, you can get the Grizzlies team total under 109.5. That's what we cashed on in the last game. FanDuel is the only book right now that has a 109.5. Everybody else got a 108.5. And it's not even that juice. I would definitely take that minus 115 if I was playing this. Let's see. Good morning, G. Heard. TC, what up, TC Bessie says, what up, Chris in chat? Pistons money line for me today. We'll talk about that. I love it. Says OKC gets the sweep. LJ says, what is the over-under total for playoffs so far? Real quick to LJ's point, let's look into that, LJ. Let's look into that. So season. If you want to figure out how to do this, you just go to any of these sports query sites and just type in season equals 2024 home and PO equals 1, stands for playoffs equal 1, or you can type in that's the easiest way to do it. Playoffs equal 1. So totals, LJ are 13-9 to the under, 40.9% to the over, which means what, 59.1%. 59.1%. So almost 60% to the under so far. 13-9 to the under, or 9-13 to the over. So far, games are averaging 223 points in the association right now. What up, Chad? Appreciate you for tapping in. Jay Stone, good morning. Says great call on Warriors Rockets under last night. Thunder cover their double-digit sweep of the Grizzlies tonight. I think so too, man. I do think so too. Vaughn says Batum 2-0 to the over on 6.5 points plus rebounds. And role players typically play better at home. Yeah, I agree with that, Vaughn. I can't disagree with any of that. Maybe some of the other role players, like a Bogdanovich, plays better too. We'll talk about that game in a second. Alex says lines at 8.5 right at 9.5 right now. Just depending on where you're shopping, Alex. I hope you got multiple sports books because you can still get. No, you're right. It's the 8.5s are dried up. I see 9.5. You're right. So I do see a 9 though. DraftKings got a 9. And we've been making a lot of money off DraftKings. They're not sharp at all. DraftKings has been the book that I keep withdrawing money from on a nightly basis. So, shout out DraftKings. Justin says, I saw the video until the sweep got plus 155. I like it. Chad says he laid the 8.5 here. Mark says Memphis is in Cancun. I like that. Tariq says the quicker they eliminate Memphis, they can rest and prepare for the next. That's a fact. Tron says Isaiah Hartenstein over his 12.5 rebounds and assists. Couldn't talk you off. Chad says they show pride in game 2 and only lost by 19. They'll show a little more pride in this one and lose by 12 or 13. Bro, that's funny, man. That is funny. All right, I got to keep going. I like it. I love it. Says Memphis playing jaXon way too much. If you're going to bet a player prop, I was looking into Jared Jackson Jr. He, I think, has the best matchup. Also, I think Chet Holmgren is in a really good matchup. He's going up and over his points prop in both games as well. The problem with the Grizzlies, with betting on a player prop for the Thunder, especially if you've been betting SGA, you know what I'm talking about, is they could do it with anybody. Like any of those guys could go off. So yeah, we'll see, man. Let's see. Grizzlies under 108.5 at plus 115 last night in my pocket. Chad says. Dom says he played Grizzlies team total under as well. So yeah, a lot of people fading the Grizzlies, and couldn't talk you guys off. I'm not putting the Grizzlies in my pocket either. But like I said, I do got a good series price. And the player props that I talked about, Jared Jackson Jr. to have a big game, or what's the kid name? Chet Holmgren to have a big game. I could definitely see one of those guys having a big game. But team total under, I think, is a really good look still too. At 109.5, you can get the Grizzlies team total under. All right, next game we got the New York Knickerbockers, and I got I got to change this. I got the Knicks playing the Knicks. Maybe they are playing against themselves. Knicks playing the Pistons, and the Pistons are getting a 1.5 here. I put these lines in last night. It looks like the consensus right now has come down to 1. So they're actually the Pistons are getting 1 point. So this line open right after the game. So DraftKings, for people who don't know, typically puts the lines out the soonest, which is why I've been smoking DraftKings. But they put the line out first. They put this line out at Detroit at Knicks -1. So you could have got. I saw a Detroit plus 1.5, and then I saw. I think it kind of just been like Knicks. And this, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, analysis paralysis will kick in at times. If you're somebody who spends a lot of time handicapping the games like I do, kind of going through all of it, rewatching the games, sometimes it could be bad for you. The longer I sit and ponder on the game, the more frustrated I am when the bet loses. But if we're talking about Knicks and Pistons, man, it's a good game. It's gonna be a great game. Do I know who's gonna win? No, I don't. I went back and looked at the box score for game 2. I rewatched the game. There's a couple things that stood out to me a lot. First thing let's talk about is this, right? So, real quick, let me just pull up game 2. First thing let's talk about is this: is if you like Detroit, which I couldn't talk anybody off liking Detroit. There's a couple things that you like here for Detroit. You go back to game number 1, right? And I did this last night. I probably should have just wrote it down, put it in my notes. I got a lot of notes on the game, but I didn't write this down. So if you go back to game 1, right? We know that the Pistons, the Knicks went on that 21-0 run in the fourth quarter. They ended up winning the fourth quarter 40-21 plus 19. They won the game, covered the spread, right? But if you go back and look at every single quarter, Detroit actually matched New York in the first quarter of game number 1, 27-27. The end of the second quarter, they lost by 2, 30-28. Third quarter, they won. They were plus 10 in the third quarter, 36-46. So my point is, they were right in the game outside of giving up that 19-21-0, 19-0 run in that game. Game 2, and the Knicks knew that the Pistons were going to come out and give them everything that they had in that game, and they were able to do exactly that. They won first quarter, 28-8, 25-18 plus 7. They won the second. They lost the second quarter by 1, won the third quarter by 2, and then just did enough, right? Just kind of hung around, lost the fourth quarter by 2, but it didn't matter because they won the game by 6. Now, if you're betting this game, though, you kind of taking Detroit to win the game. And to me, with them not getting as many points, it's going to be tough, man. If you watch the series preview that I did on this series, I talked about liking the Pistons plus I think it was plus 2.5 games, or plus, I think it was plus 1.5, 2. I think it was plus 1.5 games. I got to go back and look at that. It was plus 1.5 games. I said I thought Pistons could keep this series very, very competitive. However, and I still do, because there's a couple things that you don't like if you like the Pistons here. If you like the Knicks here. First of all, when I went back and looked at it, the Pistons, they didn't play well. They did not play. The Knicks, of course, didn't play well, scoring 94 points either. But the Pistons didn't play well. I mean, they shot 22% from the three-point line, 44% overall. Nobody really showed up except Dennis Schroeder, which I'm not sure he's going to show up again. He did have 20 points off the bench. Tobias Harris, out of nowhere, back-to-back good games for Tobias Harris. I guess the playoff experience actually paying off a little bit. Got to give him his flowers because I'm not a big Tobias guy. Jalen Duren had 12 points and 13 rebounds, but I'm looking at Sir Thompson, who fouled out, couldn't keep his hands off Jalen Brunson. Jalen Brunson out there foul baiting. And then I'm looking at, Cade. Cade had a great game, 33 points and 12 rebounds. But the other guys didn't really show up. Malik Beasley shot 2 for 9 from the field, 1 for 8 from the three-point line. They didn't get anything from Tim Hardaway Jr. He was an absolute no-show in the Garden. 0 point. He had the Kyle Kuzma line. I guess he got an assist and a rebound, but he shot 0 for 8 from the field, 0 for 6 from the three-point line. So the Pistons can play better. The Knicks can also play better, though. The Knicks can also play better. So if I'm just the Knicks shot 28% from the three-point line as well, 42%. Karl Anthony Towns didn't score a basket, I don't think, in the fourth quarter or in the second half, something along those lines. Outside of Jalen Brunson, nobody really played great. Mikal Bridges is going to have to shoot a lot better from the three-point line. 3 for 11 is not going to cut it. OG Anunoby was held to 10 points and 0 for 4 from the three-point line as well. I say all that, and their bench didn't really show up either. Shamet, Mitchell Robinson, Campaign, and McBride combined for 8 points on, 3 for 9 shooting, and Bridges and McBride had all of those points. So I say all that to say this. That kind of had me leaning towards the trends. And even though it's a short favorite, I do think if I'm looking at the numbers, I think the Knicks are the right side. It hurts me to say that because I kind of want the Pistons to win, but I think the Knicks are the right side. I do think they're the right side. I did some digging last night. Home dogs in game 3s are just 18-36 straight up, 20-33-1 against the spread. That's only 37.7%. A strong trend towards the Knicks to back the Knicks in this spot and fade the home dog in game 3. Home dog in game 3s tied 1-1, who previously won game 2, right? So if you stole one on the road and now you're coming home and you're a dog, they're just 8-14 straight up, 9-13 against the spread going back to 2004. More support for the Knicks. And this was the one that really, really tipped the pot for me a lot. And I'll actually show you guys this real quick. Let's screen share real quick. Let's go over to Give Me the Dog. So I will minimize myself a little bit. Let's see. I think I still got it in here as well. Let's see. You know what? Actually, I looked at so much stuff last night. I'll just type it back in. So what I looked at was third seeds, away favorites, and series game equal 3. So this is, and let me just zoom in just a tad bit so you guys can see it a little bit better. Dang, how I zoom in? I forgot. All right. So this is what we just talked about, right? This is the road. So if you're a 3 seed and you're a road favorite in game 3, right? A 3 seed road favorite in game 3, they play really, really well. 17-2 straight up, 15-3-1 against the spread. They're winning by average of, you can see right here, 5.9 points, which is the difference between this 106 and 96. This goes all the way back to 2004. You can see that right here. So if we do date, you can see that it is active on this game here. If we do last 5, you can see that these teams are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6-0 straight up, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 13-1. If we just look at these last 14 games here. So yeah, and it's not to say that it's gonna happen every single time, but I do think that the Knicks, they got punched in the mouth in the last game. They will be really, really focused in this one. And I think that they can win this game, man. I really do. I think the Pistons can win too, but getting the Pistons at a pick, I don't like as much, man. It's Knicks in this spot or nothing for me, as painful as it is to say that. Don't really have too many thoughts on the total. The reason why I don't really like the total as much is because it's come crashing down. I think both of these teams will shoot a bunch of threes and it could potentially go over. I typically like to play unders, but I don't really want to play this one. We have seen some of these totals kind of, the lower they get, the more likely it is to hit an over. So yeah, I'll side with the Knicks. As painful as it is for me to say that, I think I'm loving what Cade is doing out there. I think if he gets some help, they absolutely going to keep this one close. So yeah, I'll side with the Knicks. I haven't bet the game though, but if I'm betting it, it's Knicks money line for me. It's Knicks money line for me. Also, one more thing real quick. Forgot to share this. Let's take another little short, quick field trip over to Outlier. Outlier is a sports betting tool that you can use to handicap player props. We made some money yesterday with Outlier because we bet on Mr. Well, we didn't make any money because I didn't bet it, but we found a successful bet yesterday with Davion Mitchell up and over his points prop yesterday. So Jalen Brunson, I like Jalen Brunson today. I like his points prop a lot. 28.5 is the number. You can see it open 27.5, went up to 28.5, got bet back down to 29.5, 28.5, back up to 29.5. So I think when I checked it this morning, it was still 28.5 on a couple books. I saw 29.5 last night. I do think that it may close at 29.5. And it really comes down to this. Brunson simply is the man for the Knicks. He's going to take all the big shots. This is what you like to see. And this is what happens in the playoffs, right? And he just won Clutch Player of the Year yesterday as well. This is what you see in the playoffs. This right here. 27-27. If you're not familiar with Outlier, these are field goal attempts. If you telling me that Jalen Brunson gonna shoot the ball 27 times, which he has done in both games so far, I mean, how can I not take him to get 29 points? How can I not? You can see that he's had 34 and 37 points. So even when you see these points prop listed super high, and you're like, man, that is kind of high. I couldn't be talked off Jalen Brunson in this game. It's over or nothing. 27 shot attempts in both game 1 and game 2. He'll have the ball in his hands in the fourth quarter, barring any kind of injury. Definitely not hoping that on him. He's played 10 games where he's taken at least 25 shot attempts this season. In those 10 games, he's averaging 36.3 points per game. He's over 28.5 points in 9 of the 10 games. 90% hit rate when Jalen Brunson takes at least 25 shots. This is 27 shots. So if we think Jalen Brunson is going to continue to shoot the basketball, yeah, I think Jalen Brunson's in a really good spot today. So I said a lot because I spent a lot of time on the game. But yeah, let's see how you guys are thinking about it. It's Knicks or Jalen Brunson for me today. Knicks minus the Knicks money line or Jalen Brunson for me. That's my thought process here. Let's see what you guys are thinking about this one. Let's see. Good morning, Ken. Says money making Thursdays. Absolutely. Adam says he likes the Pistons on the money line plus 100. Justin says he's going Cat, 23 points, plus 100 in his pocket. Reem likes the Knicks. NYC VAR, curious if you're from New York, like Jalen Brunson, 20 points. He says it's locked on Bet MGM. I don't know why the 20 would be locked unless you're using it as a parlay piece. Jackson's Pistons home court going to be bouncing. That's a fact. That is a fact, Jack. It's not going to be easy. Is nothing about this game. I don't want you guys to think I'm picking the Knicks, and I didn't pick the Knicks, but I don't want you guys to think I'm taking the Knicks, and that's why it's so hard, man. I do think the Pistons can win this game. Real quick, Knicks on the road this season, 24-17 straight up, only 18-22-1 against the spread. As a road favorite, they are 20-8 straight up this season. And it was one more thing that I looked into. I don't even think I shared any. Yeah, no, I shared all my notes. Yeah, I did share all my notes. Yeah, we'll see what happens with the boards too. I forgot to mention that, but Detroit dominated the Knicks on the boards. They won the boards 48-34. They were +5 on the offensive glass as well. So yeah, I think it'll come down to 3-point shooting, which I think Detroit may be able to outshoot the Knicks too. Especially if the Knicks shots aren't falling. Not sure how much I believe in Bridges, but I don't really believe in Tobias Harris. He keep having good games too. Just my thought process. Pistons home court balance. OJ says first home playoff game since 2018. That gym is going to be rocking. I think these guys come out to play for the fans too. Leaning Pistons. No way I could talk you off of that, OJ. No way I could talk you off of that. Detroit early maybe. LJ says Pistons double result. Brunson has to be Superman for the Knicks to have a chance to win. He can absolutely be Superman, though. I do agree with that. Let's see. Dom says first home game for Detroit since the Obama administration. Pistons first quarter money line. Okay. Brian says, what up, Chris? I got the Knicks money line. So we kind of thinking the same thing. That Obama administration is funny. Tariq says, I like the player prop better going Cade over his 28.5. I couldn't talk anybody off Cade. Cade has been the best player in this series, in my opinion. Even though Brunson has scored, they scored 37 in the last game. Cade just don't seem like he can be stopped. OG, GO, it don't matter. It don't matter who you put on him. Cade is hooping, man. I love Cade. Love watching Cade. What up, Joe? He says he on Knicks here as well. Detroit turned the ball over too much. Mark says bottom 10, very reliant on Cade, etc. I agree with that, Mark. They can turn it over at times, but they can also have times where they don't turn it over. They got some veteran leadership out there, like a Dennis Schroeder, a Malik Beasley, even Cade is doing a better job protecting the basketball as of late as well. Matter of fact, let's go look at that turnover battle real quick. The Knicks turned the ball over 14 times in game 2. The Pistons turned the ball over 15 times in game 2. So they were about even. As far as points off those turnovers, the Detroit gave up 19 off turnovers, and the Knicks gave up 12 off turnovers. So take with that information, do what you want. What up, Peasy? Appreciate you for tapping in. Vaughn says history says take the Knicks tonight on the road, and I can see it happening. So I'm taking Detroit first half in game 4. Couldn't talk you off that. I think this is one of those back and forth series for sure. I love it. Says go Pistons. Detroit basketball. Big Zan says Detroit. Knicks in Detroit over. I think the line is too short. You alluded to a lot of players not playing well, so I expect a little more points. Yeah, who's going to be able to knock down those 3-point shots? And what does the pace look like for the full game? Does it slow down late? I feel like the Pistons games, if you watch the Pistons, which I've watched the Pistons play a lot this season, if you watch the Pistons play a lot of the times, they score a lot of points early, and then the game slows down in the fourth quarter. So maybe even the first half over. I couldn't talk anybody off that. Justin says not betting aside. Got the Knicks -1.5 for the series. Okay, so we thinking opposite. TC Best says think it might be a spot for Beasley to bounce back. Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. Beasley has crushed the Knicks all season. I think he has only had 2 games where he hasn't hit at least 5 or 6 threes. So I can definitely see that. Jelly Smash Bro says morning, Chris. Hope you have a blessed day, bud. Let's cook these books. Appreciate the positivity and that good energy, Jelly. Right back at you, man. Right back at you. Let's see. Incoming Cat 30-point game, Justin says. Okay. Can't go through all these comments, but as always, man, I do appreciate you guys a lot. Let's see. Mark got a trend here. He says, since 2016 NBA playoffs, first round road favorites off an outright loss as a favorite of more than 4 points are 16-0 straight up and against the spread. That says to take the Knicks. That says to take the Knicks. That's a very interesting trend. 2016. So we're looking at about 9 years. First round specifically, road favorite coming off an outright loss as a favorite of more than 4 points. The Knicks were laying 7 in that last game? Yeah, this could be, the public, the pros versus Joes type spot. It does line up well for the Knicks here. I think it's Knicks too, man. Chad says Knicks as well. Yeah, I want to bet Detroit, but my money, if I had to, I like my money, so it'd be on the Knicks. It'd definitely be on the Knicks. Yeah, that's a fact, y'all. That's a fact. He did get busy last night. All right, let's go on to the next game. We did a pretty good job. Shout out to Mark for sharing that hell of a trend on the Knicks in this spot. That's the way I was looking as well. Haven't bet anything yet, though. All right, next game up. Last game on the board. Nuggets and Clippers. This line opened 4. I saw it go all the way up to 5.5 earlier this morning when I first woke up. Caesar still got it at 5.5. And the total has continued to come down. Open 216.5 on DraftKings. It's down to 213.5 now. So kind of settled at that 213.5 number. This is another one, man, where I do think that the Clippers are the better team. Do I think that they win the game by 5? Ugh, 5 is a big number. 5 is also a key number. Another game where we watched the Nuggets win game 1. Cashed on a Norman Powell 3-pointer to win that game, win that series, to win that game, and then we doubled down on the Clippers in game 2. Excuse me, that was also a winning proposition. Clippers did get the job done. Now we asked them to win by 2 possessions, just because they're at home. I don't know. I think that you have to, like we talked about earlier, you got to play the series, right? You got to play the series spreads when those opportunities present themselves. I am of the mindset that the Clippers are the better team, which is why I bet the Clippers after they lost game 1. We got a series price at plus 150. We got them plus 1.5 games at minus 155, I think it was. So 2 really good bets to kind of, get ahead of the market. Those numbers are now gone, of course, because they won game 2. So a couple things I looked at here. The pace did pick up in game 2 compared to game 1. The pace in game 1 was played at 91 possessions per team. At game 2, it was played at 93 possessions per team. So it was played a tad bit faster. The Clippers are just a really good defensive team, man. They're a really good defensive team. And that's what I'm banking on, right? We talked about it, and I've said this before. The Denver Nuggets are the worst defensive rated team in the playoffs. And it's not like they haven't been playing any defense. Their defense has been much better than it has been in the regular season. I just think the Clippers got a little bit too much for them here. So I consider I'll tell you guys what I consider after I read a couple trends. So home favorites in game 3 that are laying 4.5 points or more are 55-20 straight up, 45-29-1 against the spread. That's about 61%, 60.8%. And that goes all the way back, I think, to like 2003. They're also 44-30-1 to the over as well when we're just thinking about series spreads. We know that the Clippers have been much better at home. I'll talk about that in just a second. But I also looked at, this was something that stood out to me. I looked at home favorites in series game number 3. So game 3, home favorite. You're a lower seed than your opponent is. Because remember, Denver had home court. Denver has home court. You're a lower seed than your opponent, but you're laying points in game 3. And you're laying 2 possessions, so 4.5 or more. Those teams are 44-23-1 against the spread. That's 64.6% favors the Clippers in this spot. They're also 38-27-1 to the over, 58.5% to the over. This is one that it kind of feels like the total. I know game 1 went under, even in overtime. I know game 2 went under. I kind of feel like we see the Clippers able to exploit the Denver Nuggets defense in this game. Maybe the game's played with a little bit more pace as well. If we go through and just look at real quick, let me just pull this up real quick. If we go through and look at We go back to game 2. Couple things here. That doesn't actually not. I thought both teams didn't shoot the 3-point shot well. They actually did. The Clippers shot 38%. The Denver Nuggets shot 43.5%, still lost the game by 3. Yeah, that doesn't give me a lot of hope for points in this game. Doesn't give me a lot of hope at all. Denver actually won the offensive rebound. They were a plus 18 on the glass, a plus 8 in offensive rebounds, and still lost the game by 3. That tells me that the Clippers, if they come in here focused, they should absolutely win the game. And I think that's why this line moved from 4.5 to 5. The only reason I really don't want to lay it with the Clippers is because I done bet the Clippers 4 times already. This is only game 3. Remember, took the Clippers first game, they covered. Took the Clippers second game, they won and covered. Bet the Clippers before the second game, bet the Clippers on the series price twice. So I don't really want to put too many bets in on the Clippers. But I do think that they are the better team. So I guess I'll lean Clippers minus the 5. I'll also lean Clippers up and over their team total. So team total is 109.5. I think is the best number. I think that they scored a basketball. I think that Denver's defense, on the road is going to be a little bit better, a little bit worse than it was at home. You can get the Clippers team total. Actually, you can get a 108.5 at minus 115 right now. It's 109.5 on a couple books as well, but you can get minus 115 on a Clippers team total up and over 108.5. And it's based on the trend that I just shared with you guys, based on home favorites in game 3s that are lower seeds but laying 4.5 points or more. Those games typically go over with the home team scoring a bunch of points. So I'll lean that way. Couldn't talk anybody else from Jokic love. Jokic has been absolutely cooking. Kawhi's been absolutely cooking as well. And real quick, I know I talked about Clippers, at home this season. When they're home favorite this season, they've been excellent. 24-4 straight up, 20-8 against the spread. They're covering 71.4% of their games this season, winning by an average of 14 points as well. And it's after the All-Star break, I feel like they were even better. Yeah, 9-0 straight up, 6-3 against the spread, winning by an average of 17 points. The Clippers are tough at the crib, man. They're really, really tough at the crib. So I'll lean Clippers minus the 4.5 if you can still get it. But I also think that they are able to score the basketball in this spot. Team total at 108.5. I think they can get to 110 in this game as well. So that's how I'm feeling about this one. Let me just double check. Actually, the 4.5s are gone. It's no more 4.5s. It's actually all 5s. And I saw 4.5 this morning, though. All 5s and 5.5. So 5 is a key number. I don't think I'll get there just because I got a couple future bets. Didn't really look into player props, but Jokic is going to have to go crazy in this game on the road. So couldn't talk anybody off that. Let's see what you guys are thinking about this one. And we'll do a quick recap. Jelly says Knicks are hard to trust, though. They are. Nothing about this game is going to be easy. Let's see. Knicks all day. Cover the spread. Going back to that last one. Clippers. Justin likes it. I like it, Justin. You can get a 108.5 though on this team total. So 109 is available. Always get the better number. 108.5 is available if you have bet 365 at minus 115. DraftKings got a minus 115. Hard Rock got a minus 120. They suck. They don't suck for real. I'm just kidding, but they limit me, so I don't play on Hard Rock. But yeah. 108.5. I like it. Let's see. LJ says Denver 5-1 ATS on the road in game 3 since 2022-2023. I would argue this is a little bit different Denver team, LJ. Maybe not, but they're a little bit different Denver team in my opinion. It's a little bit different Clipper team too, with a healthy Kawhi Leonard looking like one of the best players in the playoffs right now. Denver don't got Mike Malone going to a hostile environment. I think Steve Ballmer he'd be hiring like college kids to come in there and do that little wall thing where they make all the noise behind the. I mean, it's gonna be jumping in Intuit Dome, man. First playoff game in Intuit Dome, it's gonna be crazy in there. Still not laying a 5, but yeah, I do think it's gonna be crazy in there. Michael says Thunder Clip money line parlay. I couldn't talk you off a little Thunder Clip money line parlay. I think the Clips do win. Real quick, I'm just low key kind of interested to see what the odds are. Real quick, let me go to Bet365. I bet money lines. It's always on Bet365. If you guys bet money lines, it should always be on Bet365 as well. I don't do too many parlays, especially in the playoffs. But let's see. We get OKC. We get Thunder minus 130. The reason you bet it on Bet365 is because you get the cash out if teams go up by 20 points or more, the early payout. The Thunder could absolutely go up by 20 on the Grizzlies, and then you're just waiting for the Clippers to win the game versus laying the points here. I couldn't talk you off of that. A little minus 130. You probably can get a better line on other books, but you're not going to get a better proposition as far as that early payout goes. Minus 130. Couldn't talk you off of that, Michael. Chad says, I love the Clips over 109.5. Already played it last night. Brian says Clips first half over 231.5. I think he means 213.5. Yeah, 213.5. Let's see. Dante says, I love OG on his points at 21.5. Points plus rebounds here. Knicks were laying 6.5 and closed at 7.5. Chad says. Play Clips first half. Dom says he likes the 2.5. Also Clips second quarter minus 1.5 as well. That is when Denver tends to struggle. If it ain't broke, Chris, that's a fact. That's a fact. If it ain't broke. So real quick, Clippers. So that team total, right? And granted, they were playing on the road. Their offensive efficiency, I feel like, has been better at home. They are they're 2-0 to their team total under in this series as well. They've only scored 110 points and 105 points in those two games. So the Nuggets defense has been playing a little bit better. I just think that we see the Nuggets defense regress in this game. Even though that they did lose it at home, I just think the Clippers have a little bit too much. So that's the reason why I haven't officially played the team total, but I think they could get there. They got to 110 in game one, and they needed overtime to get there. So yeah, that's why I haven't made an official play yet. I'll think about it a little bit more. Lover says double for Zubac. Joker print money. People, that's a fact. Zubac has gone up and over his rebound prop in both games so far this season as well. Good morning, Cup of Joe. Hope all is well with you. What up, TC? What up, Mitchell? He says, I took Clippers to win the series at plus 140. Just took their team total over in this game. Okay. Denver's lack of depth will show up on defense. I agree with that, Doms. Nuggets success doesn't travel. Nuggets haven't been bad, I don't think. I just think we haven't seen them. Let's see. They're 7-6 on the road since the All-Star break. As a road dog, they are 4-4 straight up, 4-4 against the spread, 4-4 to the over/under. Very inconsistent is what that says. Clippers to win in overtime plus 1,700. Kawhi's on fire right now. Take his points and Harden as well. Joker struggled both games. Joker struggled both games. Okay. All right. Let's see. Caught the Clips minus 4.5 last night. Alex says, I saw it open at 4. I don't know. Like I said, I done bet the Clippers 4 times. We only in game 3. So I don't want to go over-invest myself on the Clippers. I don't want to, show my hand too much with the Clippers, but I think they could definitely be the right side here, man. Mark says Clips early a look, in my opinion, and I could definitely see that as well. All right, man. We did a pretty good job here. I'm not sure who the Commanders is going to take tonight. We could definitely use a tight end. Zach Ertz is getting a little old, even though he has really great synchrony and chemistry, with Jaden. But we'll see. We'll see how that goes, man. I keep my little take command, right here, man. Take command, take command, baby. I got Commander stuff everywhere in my office. But yeah, that'll be the show for today, man. Shout out to everybody that tuned in. I appreciate you guys for always kind of checking in and helping me look at the games in a different light as well. I haven't made a bet today, but if I'm betting, like I said, it's Knicks. This best number you can get for OKC is -9 if I bet it. I just got some really good future prices, and I don't really want to keep dipping my toes in if I don't have to overexpose myself. So yeah, hopefully you guys made those bets with me. Haven't played anything yet, but if I do, it will be sent to the members if you're interested in signing up. Use that link in the description to sign up. You can get all my plays. When I send them out, they'll come to your email. Also, really quick, the announcement that I talked about yesterday, I have partnered with PlayBack. That is the announcement. We actually going to kick it off this weekend. Y'all know I always talk about my son having soccer games in the morning on Saturdays. But I'm gonna do a live playback. Kind of, watching one of the games. I'll send out the link. I'll tweet it out. So if you're not following me, or exit out, whatever you want to call it, make sure you follow me on Twitter. I will share the playback link. You can come watch the game with me. We can kick it. But yeah, I'll share all that information, more information to come. I'll share more information as we get closer to that. It will be on Saturday, though. Maybe even do a Sunday game as well. We'll see what my schedule kind of allows for. But it'll be a Sunday evening game. I mean, a Saturday evening game. Not sure which one yet. It's a couple games that happen on Saturday, but we'll be doing the playback, man. We'll be doing the playback. Yeah, so come through and kick it with me on the playback, man. Real quick resources, as always. jaXon, Outlier, Moneyballer, OzJam. Check those out. Promos for all of them in the description of the video. Appreciate you all for tapping in as always. Best of luck on whatever it is that you guys are betting. And I will catch you guys tomorrow bright and early.